Well, if you were looking forward to riding the coasters at Lakemont Park this summer, there's some disappointing news. Those rides are not reopening again.
With summer break officially here, people would normally be flocking to Lakemont Park in the heart of Blair County.
But with the amusement park rides shut down for the second consecutive summer, Lakemont is showing up on online list of abandoned places in Pennsylvania.
For more than a century, Lakemont Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania has held a special place in amusement history. Established in the 1890s, the park became home to Leap the Dips in 1902, and now it's recognized as the world's oldest operating roller coaster, or it was, as well as a National Historic Landmark. In 1987, Lakemont added Skyliner, a classic wooden roller coaster relocated from Roseland Park in New York, giving the park two historic signature rides. Lakemont's legacy is tied deeply to these attractions and to the community identity they fostered for generations of central Pennsylvania families. In recent years, however, Lakemont has undergone a dramatic shift. After a 2-year closure in 2017 through 2018, the park rebranded itself away from the full-scale amusement operations and toward a hybrid community recreation space. Mini golf, basketball, tennis courts, athletic leagues, pavilions, and small events became the focus, while the once iconic rides were left idle. They did operate briefly in between them, but by 2024 and 2025, all rides, including Leap the Dips and Skyliner, have been completely mothballed, leaving the park sitting in disrepair, put bluntly by the county officials. Welcome back to Ghoster Coasters, everybody, and today we're going to talk about the future of Leap the Dips, Lakemont Park, Skyliner, and of course, what's going on with this county commission and all of that. So let's get into the video, everybody. The park's operator has defended the closure of rides on financial grounds. Andrea Cohen, representing the operator, had stated today that the economic climate makes it impossible to justify the expense of amusement operations. She points to the area's stagnant population base, rising maintenance and insurance costs, and of course declining attendance. In her telling, pivoting away from rides is not only a matter of economics, but of survival. But the decline in amusement attendance was temporary, not permanent. The COVID-19 pandemic devastated the industry in 2020, with global theme park attendance falling by more than half all around the world. Yet, beginning in 2022 and continuing through 2023, most North American parks started to rebound, with many surpassing their 2019 attendance and revenue figures. The industry recovered. Lakemont just never did. There's grassroots petitions from coaster enthusiasts that have pushed for the preservation of Lakemont's historic rides, and local coverage has highlighted public frustration numerous times with the current model. If interest exists elsewhere and even manifests locally, then the argument that the public has no appetite for rides becomes a little harder to sustain. Now, the county dispute here with the park operators is ongoing. At the heart of Lakemont's present crisis is a growing conflict between the operator and Blair County, which owns the land. The partnership holds a long-term lease through 2066, but the county contends that the park is not being properly maintained or utilized in the public interest. On August 30th, 2025, the operator filed suit against the county and its commissioners, asking for a court declaration that it has not breached the lease, or at least for clarification on how to cure any breach. The lawsuit also seeks confirmation that the operator is no longer obligated to run amusement rides under the terms of past lease agreements. In the filing, Lakemont Partnership disclosed that Blair County has been exploring alternative redevelopment ideas, including a sports complex project with a separate group, and that at least one $800,000 offer to take over the lease has been floated. The legal arguments revolve around key amendments. The 2006 amendment redefined the fenced area of Lakemont from amusement park to public park and recreational facility. A 2011 clause ended the operator's obligation to run Leap the Dips as a ride, requiring only that its historic integrity be preserved until October 8th, 2025. After that date, if preservation becomes insupportable, the operator may give notice, and the county then has 60 days to decide whether to assume responsibility for preservation. This looming deadline is crucial. If there's no arrangement made, Leap the Dips could be left to deteriorate without legal recourse. County officials have responded with increasing frustration, stating that the park has been allowed to decline and that its current offerings do not fulfill the community purpose envisioned under the lease. For Blair County, the lawsuit is not just about the legal language, but whether the operator has acted in good faith to maintain Lakemont as a meaningful public space. The court's ruling and the October 2025 preservation deadline will shape what comes next. There are several futures possible, many of them probably not going to happen. Selective reopening of the rides with sufficient funding and state approvals, Leap the Dips or Skyliner could return to operation under the current operator, but this would require significant capital investment, and as it's going right now, we don't really know. A new operator via a lease transfer, Blair County could try to buy out or terminate the current lease, bringing in a new operator to manage Lakemont, either as an amusement park site or a mixed recreation facility. No one really knows. Hybrid developments with the county's sports complex idea could potentially coexist, and then there could be a full non-ride park, which seems to be the most likely outcome under the current operator's strategy, which is a shift to green space and recreation with the rides left inoperable. After October 8th, 2025, if the county declines to take on preservation duties, Leap the Dips could be permanently retired. For Leap the Dips, technical operation is still possible, but it would require a lot of work to restore it again. Its National Historic Landmark status provides cultural weight, but no guaranteed funding. Without intervention, the odds of Leap the Dips operating again are very, very low. Though a county-backed or enthusiast-driven preservation project could potentially make it feasible. For Skyliner, the challenges are a little more daunting, as, it's a more conventional wooden roller coaster, but it just needs a standard rehab. It just lacks the historic prestige of Leap the Dip, so I don't know which one they would pick there. Which one do you justify unless a bigger amusement park kind of takes it over again to run it as a park? Let me know what you guys are thinking about that down below. Of course, I'm very curious how you guys are feeling about Lakemont's decisions here. Obviously, Lakemont Park stands at a crossroads between its past and what's going on now and what their future looks like. Its operator insists that the rides are no longer viable with economic realities, but that kind of forgets the context that the broader industry has pretty much recovered. The county, meanwhile, has grown weary of watching the once iconic site fall silent and is seeking other options. The outcome will depend on how the courts interpret the lease, how the county chooses to act after October 2025, and whether any investor or preservation group steps up with the capital and vision to save America's oldest roller coaster from permanent extinction. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen to Leap the Dips in Lakemont down below. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, thank you for being a part of our spooky community and for coaster ghosting with Ghoster Coasters.